So welcome to another video, and today we are talking about what I'm doing in this case of falling space stock, and also if we are looking at a lifetime opportunity or a falling knife, and if you want to learn from the greatest. Obviously, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Peter Lynch, one of the greatest stock investors of all time. And we will show today what he has to say about falling stocks. And then we are talking about what I'm doing and how I feel in this kind of situations, okay? Because if I'm looking now, as of this recording, the stock of Virgin Galactic, again, lost about 6% and is tagging here at around $21, okay? $21. With the back of my head, remembering this stock was just a couple of weeks ago at 60, with the great news that they are so close to test flight, okay? Now, actually, if I'm thinking about it, we are so close to test flight and we are about 66% cheaper. Well, that's a bargain for me because nothing has changed about the company, okay? But let's talk about a little bit why I'm so relaxed, okay? I told you guys in multiple streams, if you haven't subscribed yet, do this and activate the ring so you can get and see all my streams, okay? Here you can see what the stock actually did. We crossed the 200 moving average, which was around 26.61 on the, I think it was 14th of April, okay? And I said, this is a very bearish sign, so I expect that the stock can further go down, which means I can either sell and then re-enter the stock, and try to time the market. Well, I could done that, but, not necessarily needed. But then I could also wait and specifically with my cash buying towards end of the month, wait because I think we get even lower than 26, okay? And now we are at 21. What a gift, right? Because I really stay convinced with the company and I really think that this is a great opportunity, okay? But we will talk about that in a second. And if you are now obviously seeing all the bad news, first Richard Branson selling more shares, then ARK Invest selling shares, obviously this kind of negative news are leading to a much more bigger negative impact on the stock, okay? Because it's already in a bearish territory with the stock chart. Now, that's why I'm, let's say, more cool because I expected that, okay? If it would be other way around, if they would make the test flight and the stock would go down, then I would say, well, then might something other happens, okay? But we have a bearish sentiment into the stock chart, bad news or relatively bad news, but not connected to the fundamental story of the company. Well, that's a great opportunity, right? And I want to show you today a small snippet by one of the greatest investors that I know, okay? I learned a lot from him. I never met him personally, unfortunately. But in my opinion, he is not only one of the most charismatic hedge fund guy ever, but he also created the multi-billion-dollar fund Fidelity, which, you can find it all in the internet. I think all of his 3 books by Peter Lynch are great stock market books for beginners, for intermediate, and also for experts. So much wisdom, what to do when the stock goes down, what to do when the stock goes up. There's always the great bad words that you can say as an investor. It went so much up, how much up can it go, right? Or, oh, it went so much down, how much down it can go down further. But, Peter Lynch is having a clear message to those people who don't understand the company, bought the company, and then the stock goes down and they don't know what to do, so they sell. Okay, so I see a lot of people exactly doing that. And now let's roll the clip of Peter Lynch.
Excuse me. Is a lot of times people buy on the basis the stock has gone down this much. How much further can it go down? I remember when Polaroid went from 130 to 100. People said, here's this great company, great record. If it ever gets below 100, just buy every share, and it did get below 100. A lot of people bought on that basis saying, look, it's gone from 135 to 100. It's now 95, what a buy. Within a year, it was 18. And this is a company with no debt. I mean, this is a company, it was just so overpriced, it went down. I did the same thing in my, I think my first or second year at Fidelity. Kaiser Industries had gone from $26 a share to 16. I said, how much lower can it go? It's 16. So I think we bought one of the biggest blocks ever on the American Stock Exchange of Kaiser Industries at 14. I said, you know, it's gone from 26 to 16. How much lower can it go? Well, at 10, I called my mother and said, Mom, you got to look at this Kaiser Industries. I mean, how much lower can it go? It's gone from 26 to 10. Well, it went to 6, it went to 5, it went to 4, it went to 3. And now unfortunately, this happened rapidly, or I would probably be still caddying or working at the Stop and Shop, but it happened fast. So I was able to, it was compressed. And at 3, I figured out, you know, there's something very wrong here because Kaiser Industries owns 40% of Kaiser Steel, they own 40% of Kaiser Aluminum, they own 32% of Kaiser Cement, they own Kaiser Broadcasting, they own Kaiser Sand and Gravel, Kaiser Engineers, they own Jeep, they own business after business, and they had no debt. Now, I learned this very early. This might be a breakthrough for some people. It's very hard to go bankrupt if you don't have any debt. It's tricky. Some people can approach that. It's a real achievement. But they had no debt, and the whole company at 3 was selling at about $75 million. At that point, it was equal to buying one Boeing 747. I said, there's something wrong with this company selling for $75 million. I was a little premature at 16, but I said, everything's fine, and eventually this will work out. And what they did is they gave away all their shares to their shareholders. They passed out shares in Kaiser Cement, they passed out shares in Kaiser Aluminum, they passed out their public shares in Kaiser Steel, they sold all the other businesses, and you get about $50 a share. But if you didn't understand the company, if you're just buying on the fact the stock had gone from 26 to 16, and then it went to 10, what would you do when it went to 9? What would you do when it went to 8? What would you do when it went to 7? This is the problem that people have, is they sell stocks because they didn't know why they bought it, then it went down, and they don't know what to do now. Do you flip a coin? Do you walk around the block? You know, what do you do? Psychiatrists haven't worked so far. I've never seen them running in. The Psychological Psychiatry Fund, I've never seen listed for with the SEC to make it through as a mutual fund. So they haven't seemed to help. I've tried prayer. That hasn't worked. So if you don't understand the company, you have this problem when they go down.
So as you can see, Peter Lynch is in the obvious opinion that if you see a company that basically has no debt, okay, and Virgin Galactic, you know, basically has no debt, so they basically cannot go bankrupt, okay, so they can work and they maybe need a little bit more time. They can always raise money now as a public company. So I will tell you now a bad scenario that I think will not happen, but I will just give you the example, okay. Imagine the following. Imagine Virgin Galactic will say, hey, we have a bigger challenge with the spaceship, and we will continue to build the spaceships, but we will put the test flights 1 year back. What would happen to the stock? Maybe the stock would go, you know, half the price. Or they will, in addition, say, you know what, and we think we need a totally new management, okay? So what would the stock do? The stock would go down maybe 75%, right? But they still cannot really go bankrupt, and they can raise money. And, you know, since the stock would go then to, let's say, $5, you could buy all of it, and they would have some successful flights, and then the stock would go to, you know, $50 again, and you would make 10x your money. But, you know, unfortunately, it will not be the case, in my personal opinion, that we see $5, okay? So I think we are now coming to the area, you know, if it's $20, if it's $18, maybe 18, 17, 19, 15 maybe, right? As more as we go down, as happy I am to put my average price down. Okay, so I'm super excited for all of this, what is coming. Nothing changed fundamentally. My conviction stays high on the company, and therefore I wanted to share with you that I'm totally convinced about this company. I'm totally behind it, and I cannot wait to see all the comments again. Oh, I wish I have bought, right, in April. Oh, I wish I have bought before the test flight. Oh, I wish I have not sold my shares, because all of these comments, I have seen it for many cycles. And guys, if you decide for yourself to go out of space, that's totally fine, because this is never financial advice. This is only what I'm doing, okay? And I'm sharing it. And same like I shared my story with Tesla, I'm sharing now my story with space. and making money on the way. And some people are sharing the stories over the comments as well with me and getting wealthy as well. And this is fantastic. And, I'm reading all these messages, and I usually very, very happy that I have so many followers, 25,000 people approaching that follow me daily on this ride. It's not always a ride that is easy and going one direction up, because that's not in the realistic investment world. But I really want to say thank you again for all of the support. I can deal with any bad comments, so whatever is on your mind, put it in the comments and let me know. But if you like it or not, smash that like button.